Welcome to the heart and soul of Outdoors Radio. It's the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. In our 11th season, we continue to share facts and give advice on the great outdoors, where we never let the lack of facts come between us and a good story. Guys who are dedicated to helping you become a better outdoorsman. Your host, Gary McCoy, who's no stranger to the radio world or the outdoors, with a CMA to his credit for best personality. A well-accomplished outdoorsman who loves the thrill of taking a big buck or putting a bass in the live well. Mike Eccles, born and raised in Louisiana, who's fished and hunted his entire life and continues to chase ducks in the backwaters and pull bass off cypress trees. And the Boss Tournament Trail Director who runs the best team circuit in Louisiana. Steve Graff, raised in the woods and waterways of East Texas, a former Northwestern State two-sport athlete and tournament angler who continues to strive for big bass and winning stringers. And last but not least, Jay Watley, the brains and producer of the show who pushes all the right buttons. A man with unmatched talent who excels in making these guys look good and this show sound great. Now let's jump off the front deck and make the first cast with the boys who know it all, Gary, Steve, Mike, and Jay.
And we are hooking up and tracking down 11:30 the Tiger. Morning, Gary, and the old Ranger, the Iowa Pro Staffer, Steve Graff.
Good morning.
The Mud Hen, Mike Eccles. What'd you do to your hand?
Cut it on a piece of tin on the roof of a duck blind.
It is that time of the year.
It is, yeah. I mean, I will probably have to have blood within the next 3 weeks.
Amputation to follow, right? Yeah, God love him. You know, the older you get, you could just look at your skin hard and it'll start bleeding.
Yeah.
He is the Mud Hen, Mike Eccles. Jay Watley is here, and this segment brought to you by Steve Nichols and Specialty Traco, Despino and Jim South Tire, and Bayou Outdoor Super Center. Of course, with football season being here, time to enhance your tailgating experience with a motorhome or an RV from Bayou Outdoor Super Center in Bossier City. I hope you're hungry today.
Oh, dude, I can't wait.
Carla Nesbitt from Bellevue Meat Processing is coming in.
Yep.
And I talked to her at the football game, at the Houghton football game the other day. Her son, Matthew, plays on the football team. And he's also on the fishing team. Mm-hmm. And she was telling me a little bit about what's coming and what we're going to talk about. And I'm telling you.
Did your mouth start watering?
Yes. If you have not already eaten, you better eat something now, because I'm going to tell you, you'll gain 47 pounds just listening to the radio today.
You know, and you said last week, nothing sounds worse than the sound of somebody eating over the radio.
Yeah.
Well, tough. Y'all enjoy.
Hey, this week's Facebook sponsor spotlight is Sealy Outdoors. And did Bob tell us last week that he's somewhere today? Is he in Longview today?
He was going to be at Academy Sports, I think, Longview today.
Yeah.
I believe.
And then tomorrow they will start taking entries right there at the lake.
Mm-hmm. And then he was in Dallas maybe yesterday.
Okay. Yeah. So tomorrow at Lake Fork there at Lakeview Marina, you'll be able to get registered. And then they'll fish Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Lake Fork Marina.
What did I say?
Lakeview.
Or Lake Fork, I'm sorry.
Lake Fork, yeah.
Lake Fork Marina. They'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep. Big event. That's going to be a great tournament.
Over $400,000.
Yeah. And the reason why I think it's going to be a great event, the weather has changed a little bit. The water temperature has cooled down some.
Have you noticed how many fish Johnny Geis is catching lately?
No, I didn't talk to Johnny.
Dude, let me tell you what. Johnny and them are averaging like 35, 40 fish a day. And these are good fish. And, you know, one day they'll catch them on a wacky worm, and the next day they'll catch them on a frog, you know, some kind of a topwater.
Right.
So it looks to me like, you know, if you get around the fish, all you got to really do is just figure out what they'll bite, and then you can load the boat.
It's on.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be more people fish this tournament than planned on fishing it, because there'll be a lot of people just say, I wasn't going to fish it because it's too hot.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to do it.
Are you seeing a lot of people that are getting more excited now that we got a little cooler weather, getting more excited about the championship, the Cash Splash Championship?
I haven't been by there in a few days, but they're starting to sign up. And they need to get over there before the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
Get signed up. We'll have the full field, almost 60 teams to fish for the Triton boat.
Wow.
Nothing like a weather change to put a little hop in your step.
Oh, dude.
I mean, it just makes a big difference.
Oh, dude. Well, you know what? That's one of the things that we've got also on today's show is that teal season is this Saturday. How long? Is that 2 weekends?
2 weeks, 3 weekends.
Okay, 3 weekends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's the next 3 consecutive weekends. Will this kind of weather make the teal hunting better?
Well, it will, but the problem, it's constant in the west zone. We don't hold ducks.
Yeah.
We've already had several days. Last Friday, there was a ton of teal came through right ahead of the thunderstorms.
Mm-hmm.
And but those teal are gone. I mean, they don't stay around here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter. You've got to hunt every day of the season and hope you have 2 or 3 good days.
Yeah, Jeff Pate had texted me and said, I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday, he had a picture with a whole bunch of teal in it, and he said by Monday, which was that Labor Day, none.
Now, Mike, when those teal are coming through like that, how hard are they to decoy? Do they decoy?
They're real hard, real hard. 10 or 15 years ago, there weren't but about 4 states that had an early teal season, and you stood a chance of hunting here, and those teal that come by being the first blind they saw after they left Canada.
Wow!
Right now, they've been shot at about 7 or 8 states.
Yeah,
coming down here because and now it went from. It didn't matter if they buzzed 3 times, 4 times. You let them. They were going to come back, and they were going to light if you wanted them to,
right.
And you could skillet shoot them.
Wow!
Right now, you shoot them the first pass.
So they
because they're not coming back. Wow. So tell me, now the early, like right now, the first weekend, are you seeing only green wings, blue wings?
No, blue wings.
Okay.
Blue wings.
Now, by the end of it, will you see any green wings?
You will maybe kill 1 or 2 green wings during the season.
Okay. Have you ever killed a cinnamon teal?
No, I have not. Killed a blonde mallard last year.
Wow.
But I've never killed a cinnamon. They're more of a coastal and west coast teal.
Yeah.
But they have them.
Yeah.
I mean, a number of people have killed them.
Right.
But I've never killed one. Don't know that I've ever seen one in the air. Don't know that if he flew by, I would know what he was.
Okay, there were a number of dove hunting citations that were written over the opening weekend.
Yeah, and you were not involved in these games.
No, I was
That's
not.
That's a good thing.
I'm going to tell you right now, that was one occasion that Uncle Gary. Oh, and speaking of Uncle Gary, today's his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
72
happy
years
birthday
old.
to you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
And you know what? His anniversary, he and my Aunt Lorraine, their 50th anniversary, we're celebrating this Saturday, and I'm disappointed in her. I mean, it just finally occurred to me today. She's had 50 years to figure out a way to smother him in his sleep and get away with it.
And she ain't done it
yet.
I mean, she's a
She
good
had
woman.
50 years to figure that out, and she just let him live.
If she had done it on their honeymoon, she would have gotten out of jail last year.
Sure.
Yeah.
Don't put that kind of stuff off.
Well, we got some violations we're going to talk about real quick. Agents issued in Louisiana 8 citations for hunting doves over a baited area and 6 citations for aiding and abetting hunters in hunting doves over a baited area. In Rapides Parish, they had 5 citations that were issued. West Feliciana Parish, agents wrote 4 hunting dove over baited area citations and 1 for placement of bait citation. I guess they went out and spread a little extra. And in Avoyelles Parish, they agents issued 2 citations for hunting doves over a baited area, 1 citation for aiding and abetting other hunting doves over another area. And in Evangeline Parish, the agents cited 2 issued 2 citations for hunting doves over baited areas. Everything's over bait.
I just wonder, as game wardens transition from fishing to hunting, they make a pretty big deal out of opening day of dove season.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the first couple of weekends.
Yeah.
And I've often wondered, is that when they start training the new agents? Is that why it's such a big deal? Is this, like
Well, a lot of them just got out of school.
Game Warden 101?
Right. Yeah.
And, this is your first occasion, and I'm sure game wardens get as excited about hunting season as we do.
Yep.
But, it seems to me like, and Mike has mentioned this before, we're just about to get ruled to death on some of the
Federal, the federal stuff.
Yeah. It's like, it takes a lot of the fun out of the dove hunting, especially if the field over beside you is baited, but you don't have access to that. How do you know? And you're trespassing if you go over there to check.
To me, the most overmanaged hunting is dove.
Yeah.
It is overregulated.
Yeah.
Well, and here's a little word of advice. If the green truck pulls up and there's 1 game warden gets out, you stand a chance. If there's 2 of them, you're booked.
I'm going to tell you this. When we got our citations, there were 7 trucks.
What?
There were 7.
They were looking for y'all.
There were 7
Well, y'all were felons.
trucks.
Y'all were on the FBI.
There was green trucks with blue lights.
Somebody
as
snitched
far
on
as-
y'all.
As far as you could see.
I talked to the warden. They had been watching that field for weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
But it is. If one game warden gets out, I mean, you know, and something's questionable, you might get a warning.
Yeah.
But if there's 2 of them, one of them can't let you go.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to write you up. So
Yeah.
just pray for the Lone Ranger.
Amen. Deer hunting ranks number 1 among all hunters. Is that a surprise?
Let's go back to violations.
Okay.
Let's go back to violations. I don't know the names yet, but LDWF, Louisiana Parks and Wildlife, has cited 2 Bistineau anglers for over the limit of bass.
Now, I heard about this. There was a rumor on Facebook
Yep.
that one of them, they had caught 56, but somebody said that's not true.
Well, I don't know the numbers or the names. I haven't been able to find that out. My sources are working on it. Yeah.
Mike Eccles' private eye.
Yeah. He got Randy Farrer and
Yeah, you got Randy Farrer on the
Ricky
case.
Lee all
Look out.
ears to the ground.
Randy Farrer might have been involved in the case.
No, but hats off to them because you know they we need that.
Yeah.
They are hurting the
Amen.
lake.
Now, wait a minute. Clarify what you're saying. We don't need people catching over the limit.
No. We need the wardens writing citations.
Yeah.
To stop
monitoring
this.
it.
Yes.
Just monitor
Yes,
the
so
place.
thank y'all, LDWF.
Yeah. Getting back to the deer hunting ranks number 1.
Is that a surprise?
Not to me.
No.
I would have thought that in the last 10 years since the limit for ducks had increased from 3 to where you are now, what is it, 6 now? Mm-hmm. Since it had increased, that duck hunting would really be on the grow.
Yeah, on the rise.
But everybody deer hunts, even if it's just opening weekend.
Yeah. I talked to Larry Reynolds, who is the head biologist for waterfowl for the state of Louisiana. And we talked about a number of things, but one of the things he told me that surprised me was 75% of duck hunters and waterfowl hunters in the state of Louisiana hunt private land.
Wow.
Really?
Which shows you
Wow.
how hard it is to find good public duck hunting. Revert that back to why deer hunting is number 1. Right now, if I've never deer hunted in my life, within 48 hours, I can find a deer lease to get on.
Yeah.
You know.
Or you could go to Bodcaw and hunt public land or Loggy
So
Bayou.
that's the reason that deer hunting's number 1 is accessibility.
Yeah.
And you know what? That was one of the things that we talked about here a few weeks ago with the gentleman from Delta Waterfowl was that, you know, recruitment was number 1, getting
Right.
young hunters
Right.
interested, and then access was number 2,
Right.
and what was holding duck hunting back.
Well, if you hunt the following, you also hunt deer. Bear hunters, 95% hunt deer. Squirrel hunters, 81% hunt deer. Rabbit hunters, 78% hunt deer. Raccoon.
78% of the rabbit hunters hunt deer while they're rabbit hunting.
That's true. While they're running their dogs. Raccoon hunters, 75% hunt deer at night. Elk hunters, 74% hunt deer, which no
They'll
surprise
hold
there.
real still at night.
Yeah, exactly. Duck hunters, 63% hunt deer, and pheasant or upland birds, 47% hunt deer. I thought those were pretty good numbers.
Now, most of the time, you're in a duck blind from the start of season till the end. Will you spend any time in a deer stand this year before duck season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I will actually go deer hunting. Some.
A little bit.
No, I may sit in the deer stand 5 or 6 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're going to get that. That's part of your regular routine.
Do you
Yeah.
enjoy time in a deer stand more than a duck blind?
No.
No.
Is it the
Because
I run the
camaraderie?
bat-
Is it the camaraderie in the
Yeah.
duck blind that you like the most?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would
I
say
run the
so.
battery down on my phone while I'm in a deer stand. I've got to take my Wego and charge it up. I'm playing Wordscape or, because I'm bored.
Okay,
It absolutely that is in all honesty probably 55% of the fun of duck hunting.
Oh, I would
is-
agree.
is being in the blind.
Yeah.
I've had some good times in the blind when we didn't kill anything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I like quail hunting. It's a
Yeah.
social.
Yeah. Okay, I promised you. that we are about to.
We're about to eat good.
Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of you people out there.
Hey, Carla is going to describe everything. Carla Nesbitt's here, Bellevue Meat Processing. She's going to tell us what's new at Bellevue, and we're going to go through her Oh Dear What's for Dinner cookbook.
Yeah, great
She's
cookbook.
going to tell us some of her favorite recipes that are in there. If you hadn't been out there to get you a copy of this, shame on you. But if you have, you're going to want to turn to page number 27 as we all sing
along
together.
with us.
Yeah.
Hooking up, tracking down, 11:30. The Tiger.
This segment of Hook It Up and Tracking Down is presented by Daiwa Rods and Reels, J&J Exterminating, V&M Baits, Silver Star Smokehouse, and Paul's Farm and Garden. Get ready for deer season with food supplements and mineral blocks from Paul's Farm and Garden, located on North Market Street in Shreveport.
We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30 The Tiger, and before we get with Carla, we need to tell you about Bellevue.
Timing couldn't be better. So the beautiful woman just sat down.
Holy
Carla Nesbitt from Bellevue Meat Market. Over 20 years of custom meat processing. Starting August 21st, they've got new hours out there at the plant. 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. Tuesday through Friday. Now taking appointments for beef and pork processing. Chris and Carla are always looking to make a better product. They've got a great selection of sausage, seasoning, Mayhaw jelly, and barbecue sauce. Yum. Did you bring some of that?
We did.
You bought some of almost everything.
Gumbo mix, that
Gosh.
etouffee mix.
Pre-packages of mixes like gumbo, red beans and rice, and jambalaya. They offer great snack sticks. We got any of those?
I didn't bring you any
Oh,
snacks.
no.
But, we
But
do have a
anyway,
new snack
get
section.
some. They're perfect for the duck blind, the deer stand. Bellevue is the official processor of the Hunters for the Hungry. Go to BellevueMeat.com to learn more.
We'll stock up on the snack sticks when we do our live remote from there in a few weeks.
Okay, Carla, I got to brag for just a second.
Why did you get the first bite, Jay?
Because I'm going to show you. I got to brag. You hadn't even said a word yet.
I haven't.
You hadn't even said a word yet. And Bubba Hadaway just texted me. He says, I want several copies of that cookbook to give out for Christmas presents.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So see, I mean, you hadn't even said a word yet, and you've already sold several copies just to do this.
That's
You know,
right.
if you'd have put your picture on the front of this, they'd have sold more.
I probably not have.
No.
Okay. Now, when you started with the cookbook in mind, what criteria did you look for when you said, okay, these are the recipes that I want to use? I mean, did you say I just want Louisiana stuff, or
Well, these are all recipes that I've cooked through the years, and they're not
Tried and true.
healthy. I want to say they're not diet.
That's okay.
They're comfort food.
God loves fat people too?
And there are a lot of recipes that you can cook in the winter in crock pots on the go.
Is that the most
Fast.
important thing?
Yes.
You know, is to be able to do it something like that in a crock pot.
Very
where I
easy.
can
Good
turn it on.
camp food.
Yes,
I call that camp
and, good,
food.
and
yeah.
easy, and you can feed a lot of people.
You know the most important thing when I open up a recipe, when I look at it, the first thing I look at is I scan through there and see if there's any of those goofball seasonings or ingredients that
Right.
I would never buy and I don't have. And if I bought it, I use it one time.
Yeah.
If I
Right.
see that, I just don't hardly
Right.
Yeah.
cook it.
And I put a lot of things in there, like a lot of ideas where you can take a regular jambalaya mix. Instead of adding 2 cups of water, let's add 2 cups of chicken broth and a can of rotel.
Yeah.
And then your sausage. And
Yeah.
you just like beefed up this mix and made it into something.
So
that's
you
gonna be
experiment
better.
a lot then on your own.
Can you screw anything? I believe you could eat an anvil if you put enough Rotel and Velveeta on it.
Right, and fry it.
Yes.
Deep fried.
Okay, now what all did you bring us today?
Today, I brought you, of course, our tried and true jalapeno and cheese smoked sausage.
I've already had a piece.
Then this is in the rest of the book also. This is the cream cheese sausage balls.
Holy
I
cow.
never had those.
And they're
Cream
really-
cheese sausage balls.
It's you take your sausage balls like you would regular make them, and then I added a pack of cream cheese and I double my shredded cheese.
Oh.
And then I made y'all some lasagna in a bowl, and that lasagna in a bowl is made with our Italian sausage that we make there at Bellevue, and a spaghetti sauce that we sell there, a Cajun spaghetti sauce, beef broth, and your noodles, and that's it. I mean,
Okay,
it's easy
I've got to
and
ask
it's good
you a
food.
question for safety's sake. Is that deviled eggs?
This
Yes.
is not your mama's deviled eggs.
But those are deviled eggs.
Yes.
I hope you're not going to be here in 30 minutes.
We'll let
I'm
Mike
out of
eat
here at
those.
11:45.
Michael eat those the last segment, so we'll all be safe.
These deviled eggs are. We sell
Not your mama's deviled eggs.
We sell a spicy sweet Raging Cajun pickle relish. So I make my deviled eggs like with your mayonnaise and mustard, a little bit of chopped onion, and then I added about a pound of fried bacon,
Oh,
8 ounces of shredded cheese,
it just got good with the
Dude.
bacon.
a little bit of cream cheese,
There's a woman talking
A little
dirty
bit
to
of
me
sour
right beside
cream.
me, and I can't do it.
salt and pepper, and then
Okay, now
your
let me ask you a
jalapeno
question.
relish.
Pickles. What kind do you use?
I use sweet pickles in
I
deviled
know
eggs.
what brand though. I've actually found out there are some pickles better than other, and Lafitte
Lafitte is awesome.
is a great.
And I would love to be able to sell those out. We sell a gator pickle
Yeah.
at the plant. That's a Louisiana-made pickle.
Really?
That is really, really
Do you
good.
have hot pickles?
We do.
Okay, I love hot pickles.
love it.
My
We-
daddy's
we
got a
have
good
those.
Okay,
recipe.
I want you to open that lid
But
and hand me
Lafitte's
one of those cheese
is
balls
awesome.
with the sour cream in it. Cheese balls.
Right here.
Oh, cheese balls.
Don't,
It's
don't
too
get
early
him
for
the
the
deviled
deviled
egg.
egg. Okay, too early.
I am addicted to cheese. If a
love
doctor told
cheese.
me I'd die in 24 hours if I didn't quit eating cheese,
I hope they're still warm.
It don't matter.
It don't matter on this show.
Hey, have you talked?
These guys eat 4-day-old donuts.
Have you talked to Chris, taught Chris how to cook anything? Or would he starve to death if you
He
moved
can
off?
cook.
Can he?
Yeah, but it's like
Is he a good grill
he likes
guy?
to grill and then bread. That's it.
Oh,
There's no
really?
sides.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't have a problem with that at all.
Our oldest son, Matthew, he can grill
Yes,
some
sir.
fish.
Oh,
That
really?
kid is he can grill some fish.
Huh.
And make
this is
some
so good.
marinade.
I can tell the sour, cream
cream
cheese.
cheese.
And
You know,
they're
a lot of cheese balls are kind of dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and I
these
don't
are
put
delicious.
as much Bisquick in there as it would call for, and then putting the extra cheese, cream cheese and shredded cheese in there just makes it a creamier.
they're light too. They're not heavy.
Wait a minute. I have a really important question
What's that?
because in our Sunday school we bring breakfast. Mm-hmm. What Sunday school class are you in? Because I'm not in that Sunday school class.
I'm a horrible church member. I do not have a small life group at this moment.
Life group. That's right. We had to quit calling them Sunday school. It's a life group. Well, we're going to start doing Sunday services at yours and Chris's house.
Okay.
Sound good?
But when I did go, I brought breakfast often.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's in the little care package that you put together, that shows a little bit of everything that you've got?
We have our Bellevue barbecue rub. We carry a Cajun Power brand of seasonings and garlic sauce. And Cajun Power makes a chili sauce that is excellent.
Oh, really?
That you just brown your ground beef or your venison, add that can of chili sauce in there. I add a can of stewed tomatoes. It doesn't call for that, but you put it in there. You put beans in there if you like it.
You put onions in your chili?
Yeah.
Thank you, God.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
take... you
My
can
wife
take-
won't eat it with onions in it.
Really?
It's like,
Yeah,
I
you
have to
can-
make her a batch and the
Yeah.
rest of the family.
You just got to take any of these things that'll start a meal quick and then just add some stuff to it and make it better.
Okay, now when somebody walks into Bellevue Meat Processing, used to there was that one occasion, you're walking in specifically just to have a deer processed or a hog. When somebody walks in now, I mean, have you noticed the clientele change over the last
Yes.
few years?
Yes. Before, ladies would not get out of the car when their husband dropped off or picked
No.
up a deer. Now they want to get out and come see what else we have in there. What else
Well,
they can
we've
get.
talked a couple of times that you've actually made that showroom, that front, the desk, whatever, kind of like a mini Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
if the guys
Yeah.
take your wife and then
Yeah.
let her see what Carla has, she's not going to gripe about the deer processing.
You know what? You know they make like those Southern Girls T-shirts or Southern Mom. You ought to start carrying little stuff like that in there.
Yeah.
You know,
That'd be a good idea.
All right, now if somebody wants the cookbook, what's the price?
It's $8 a cookbook.
Okay, and in there you're going to get recipes that will take you, I mean, from ordinary to the extraordinary.
Yeah, and I even like put in there like if you're serving a jambalaya and you need to have a side of green beans and a salad with it. Like you need to like some people.
Sides are important.
Yes.
For a lot of
Yeah,
people. That's what
do you
kinda
do the
completes
fried green
meal.
beans?
I've never made the fried green beans,
Have
but
you
I
had
like
those?
the brown sugar
Yes.
and Worcestershire green beans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
That's
so good.
awesome.
I'll tell you another green bean recipe. I may have said it last week. Take can, pour it in a skillet with the liquid, and put a package of grated Velveeta cheese in there and cook it slow until the Velveeta melts down. It makes like a white sauce. That's it. Just green beans, the juice, and grated Velveeta. Delicious.
Really?
Every time I have some of her jambalaya,
Yeah.
I have a side.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
goes good. Yeah, mine's another bowl of the jambalaya. That's it.
On the
That's what's
side.
on the side.
Okay, now tell me, you know, with Chris over the last several years, your husband Chris Nesbitt, over the last several years, you know, he's tried to make at least one new introduction each year with the sausages or the snack sticks or maybe a jerky or something
Right.
along those lines. Is there anything new for 2018?
Yes. You know, last year we had the sweet hot smoked sausage.
Yeah.
Which was a huge hit.
We introduced it.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody loves that.
Yes.
And then this year we're going to have a sweet hot snack stick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and those are excellent.
You know, I have one problem with you.
What's that?
You don't sell crackers.
Yes, we do.
You got crackers in there?
Yes,
Oh,
we
okay. I
have
hadn't
crackers.
seen. Okay. All right.
And then we're working on a hot pepper cheese smoked sausage.
Oh, wow.
Let me ask
But
you a
that'd be
question.
good.
Yeah.
Y'all, you and Chris sat down and say, okay, we're going to do the news this, and here's an idea. Why don't we try this? What about that? Do y'all just really try to just come out? We're going to do this one this year and save this one for
Right.
next year, because it's hard to come up. But y'all do it. Y'all come up with a new idea every year.
Have you come up with anything and you go, oh my God, don't ever make that again?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
But that means she's a true chef.
But
She's a chef.
you know that there's going to be stuff that you try that just doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
And they
that's-
just don't cook
Yeah.
correctly.
They don't come out right.
Well, I know
Yeah.
that, Chris has made a big habit of going every year to another one of the schools or convention or something along those lines, or buying a new piece of equipment and touring the factory so that he can learn. I know one of the couple of years ago it was the big sausage thing that he had, and he's able to generate so much more sausage and be able to get it out a little more efficiently and quickly. And that came with its own set of problems because you guys at Bellevue got so popular that last year things got backed up on us.
We did.
And but you offered an incentive, and this is where I wanted to brag on you. You offered an incentive. You still wanted people's business, but you said, hey, look, if you'll hold it till February the 1st, which most people can do.
Right, they'll
they hold
order it up and
If
freeze
you'll
it.
hold it till February 1st, we'll give you a discount to process it. Do you foresee that? I mean, and Chris said, hey, it was a calamity of storms. We had the perfect storm. It was cold that opening weekend. We had
banner
more
year.
hunters in the
Yeah.
woods. There was a huge crop of deer. Do y'all think that there's a possibility that could happen again?
It's a possibility, but we have also added 2 tractor trailer freezers this
Oh.
summer.
Yeah.
We've added some more processing room onto the back. We have another piece of equipment that's hopefully enable us to stuff sausage faster.
Wow.
Are you going to
And,
acquire more acreage anytime soon? Because y'all,
I hope
y'all
not.
keep growing. Year after year, y'all just get bigger and bigger.
So we're working
What
on
would they be doing with acorns? They don't put that in the sausage.
Acorns.
Oh.
Hey, sit tight. Kelly Haydell is going to talk teal with us. We're getting ready for opening day this Saturday. That's next. Hooking up and tracking down. 11:30, The Tiger.
So I took what I could get. Yes, I took what I could get.
The Hook It Up and Track It Down Show thanks you for tuning us in today. This segment presented by Cypress Knee Outdoors, Nichols Department Stores, Bellevue Meat Processing, and Candyman Pet Lodge, offering grooming, bathing, and one-on-one dog training. Candyman Pet Lodge is the only place for man's best friend.
All right, a quick word.
All right.
With a all right.
No, I didn't say all right this time.
Yeah, all right.
You did.
All right, here we go. Well, I want to leave that out. Nichols Department Store is a great selection of hunting and fishing gear. Hunting stands from Old Man, Big Game, River's Edge, and Summit. Camo brands like Under Armour. Hard to talk with that cheese ball in your mouth. Sausage ball. Camo brands like Under Armour.
Spit it out.
Walls, Browning, and Carhartt. Waterfowl gear from Drake. I got Crake, but it's supposed to be Drake. Drake and Banded. Guns from Browning, Remington, Benelli, and Mossberg. 5 locations to choose from. Manny, Winfield, Coshada, Leesville, and DeQuincy. Go to nichols-stores.com to learn more for your hunting season supplies.
And Kelly Haydale on the phone with us right now. Haydale's Game Calls. And, of course, you know, Kelly, you're a pretty good chef in your own right. But, brother, and you know I love you.
We're sorry you're not here.
Yeah, you know I love you.
He came in second in the gar cooking contest.
Oh, okay.
And he should have been first.
Who came in third?
Me, I didn't even come in third. I came in 5th out of 3.
Now wait a minute, Kelly. I want you to understand this. I love you, and I know you're an incredible cook. But not only could Carla outcook you, but I believe that you're not even in the same world she lives in as far as looks.
You know what? I can't argue that fact. I can't argue that fact, brother.
Hey, you know what? I don't know if you had a chance to listen a minute ago, but Carla Nesbitt is here from Bellevue Meat Processing. Have you taught her how to cook any kind of teal yet?
No, I haven't. You know, but my brother Rod is some kind of chef when it comes to cooking the ducks too.
Oh.
So you know, I might have to defer to. You know, I have become this culinary artiste, if you will, when it comes to gar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of lacking in my skills. On the duck meat. So Ron might be the person to talk to about that.
Well, when it comes to those teal now, of course, this weekend it's on. What are you projecting? Good weekend? Is it going to be slow? Just got to wait, see what the front's going to do. What?
I'm hopeful for the front, but what I have heard, and this may or may not be the case, but what I have heard, you know, we had a lot of late rains this year in the breeding ground, and some of the folks are saying that a lot of the teal, this last hatch of teal, they are just getting their primary flight feathers, and it's going to be about another week before they start pushing down on that particular generation of birds. Now, typically what will happen is your males end up coming down first, then some of the females will start traveling down, and then those adolescents, as they develop and get their primary flight feathers, then they start migrating down. So I have a feeling it may be a soft opener this year, but I would expect the second weekend and then the last weekend to be strong.
Well,
that's what I'm thinking.
Well, you know, that's a great thing, Kelly, because normally in our area, and we've talked earlier, we don't hold teal in the west zone. So we've got to catch them passing through. And it seems like the majority of our birds are killed the first week and a half season. And so anything that would make it, I mean, I think it'd be great if the second and the third weekend were better than the first.
I agree. You know, you got a better chance of one of those front things being, you know, just kind of right, you know, towards the middle to latter part of September is when we typically get a couple of those little light fronts to come through. And it wasn't that many years ago, I can remember, when the Red River was absolutely on fire. I had never seen anything like that. It was all day long birds coming out of the north. I mean, it looked like it was big duck season. It was incredible.
Now, Kelly,
and you know,
do you think that the early migration?
Since you interrupted him, go ahead and say something.
Well, it sounded like he stopped.
He took a breath.
Yeah, he took a breath. Well,
I
took one too.
I didn't know if he had a sausage ball in his mouth or what.
Well, that's true. I've got some other stuff going in right now. But anyway, are you a proponent of opening up an earlier teal season, or do you think it's set right, or should it be later?
I don't think it should be any earlier. These birds are teal coming down before the teal opener. Yes, I mean there's guys that are always going to end up seeing some teal all the way on the coast of Louisiana. They're going to start arriving as early as the middle of August. Have the bulk amount of birds ended up coming down? No. And a great example of that is this year, exactly like I was saying a minute ago, when you turn around and you have a late breeding season due to a lack of rain during the springtime, you're going to have a staggered later flight, fall flight, as if you wanted to call it, a flight of teal migrating down. So, no, I think they have it right as far as states are concerned.
Well, Kelly, I talked earlier about 10 or 15 years ago, there wasn't but 3 or 4, maybe 5 states had an early teal season, and now the vast majority of them have it. So what's happening is it used to be we shot teal that hadn't been hunted when they got to Louisiana. It's different now. So have you got any change in tactics, calling decoys, or just overall hunting tactics or mindset since these teal are not as easy to decoy as they used to be?
Well, I think that some folks are doing some things to where they are educating these birds early as they in these other states. And typically, what is the average spread that you're going to see? You're going to see a couple of spinning wing decoys. You're going to see a few dozen teal decoys. Okay, so how are you going to change that up? Birds become conditioned really quick. So large spread, lots of activity, not necessarily in spinners, but a lot of water motion can help. Something that we used that was successful last year was the little small flocka flicker motion decoy.
What'd you say on the radio? A
Flocka flicker. Flocka flicker.
Flock flicker.
Say that slowly.
Okay.
It is a little
real deliberate when you say
that. It is a little small battery operated spinning wing device that floats on the water, and it is one separate wing in and of itself. And what it is going to stimulate is if a bird was sitting on the water and simply flapped its wings and you caught a flash of that white, and then it shuts itself off. So it's on a timer. And I believe it may be like a 5-second or something like that, and then it's like a 10 or 15-second interval. But what that does is that flashes those birds, gives them that attention that you need to draw them in, and then shuts off, and it's not a constant spinning wing that they get conditioned to. And I think that it's very effective.
Biggest mistake that people will make over the course, besides breaking the law, biggest mistake that they'll make teal hunting?
Guys get really carried away with calling, and you want to call at these teal when you're wanting to turn the bird. Get their attention, and then back off the call. I mean, they know that you're there. They have their own little crazy flight patterns. Sometimes teal can turn on a dime. They're so acrobatic. They may end up spinning right around and sitting. They may end up flying and looking at everything 3 or 4 times and then come on in. Give them a chance to do their little flight. I mean, get their attention with the call. Let them see the spread. Let them work. Guys that are sitting there constantly calling over and over, working them like they think they're working Arkansas mallards, you stand a chance of those birds, of pushing those birds out, blowing them out.
With this kind of front that we've got that's come in, and I know that you said we had a late hatching, if you will, and those birds aren't going to be coming down. But with this kind of a front, this kind of a weather, and especially with what they're forecasting for the East Coast, and as that comes on inland and stuff, will that continue to feed us for the next couple of weeks with new fresh teal?
I think so. I mean, birds these birds can ride down a little light wind as long as you've got a little bit of a front wind, any kind of north wind. Heck, last Friday when we had that little northwest wind, boy, I was excited. I thought, ooh, man, I'd love to see what's out on the water, coming in today. And when I say we have this late, that we're going to have this late flight, I mean, obviously there's several generations of teal that are going to be migrating down. So, I mean, you're going to have some birds, and I think what you're going to see is a trickling effect, which actually would make the teal season better because new birds are going to be arriving, I think that, again, it's going to be a soft opener, but you're going to see things steadily get better as the little short teal season goes on.
I would a lot rather have a day where you saw 8 to 10 bunches a day, 3 or 4 days in a row, than 50 to 55 bunches, and then the next 2 days see
nothing.
One bunch or nothing.
Yeah.
Now, Kelly, I heard the other day I was watching a TV show, and they were talking about, and they were teal hunting, how the concealment of the hunters wasn't near as important as the setup of the decoys with teal.
Really?
Is that true?
I have to agree with that some, and part of it is the behavior of the bird itself. They are low-flying birds. That you have that whole saying, a bird's eye view. If you've got mallards that are sitting there circling 100 yards overhead, they're able to check things out a lot better than a teal that's flying 50 feet off the deck. Mm-hmm. And so, I definitely think that your concealment can be less. I mean, I know there's guys that have turned around and thrown some burlap over fishing boats before and been very successful. It's the hunter in me, though. I want to be concealed. I'm still going to conceal myself. Great thing is there's lots of vegetation that you can end up utilizing between, willow branches and cane and different things, So it's nothing to turn around and cut what you need to be able to get by for a particular day's hunt.
I read something the other day, Kelly, that kind of surprised me, and I'm sure you knew it, but a teal really doesn't fly much faster than a regular duck.
They're just so much closer to the ground?
Well, no, his overall speed is not that much greater than, say, a gray duck. His problem is he goes from 0 to 35 in about 10 feet, or from 35 to 0 in about 10 feet.
Oh, okay.
Where
quail.
The bigger ducks, it's a gradual, it's a build-up of speed. I mean, if they're in the air, they're going about 30, 35 miles an hour. Doesn't matter what they're fixing to do.
Yeah.
And they're deceiving because they can't turn on a dime.
They are very acrobatic. They can spin around on a dime. I've actually seen teal turn around and almost land with the wind, which is absolutely opposite of all birds. And what they will do is they'll turn around and come in with the wind, and then right at the last few feet before they land, they'll make a U-turn. Craziest thing I've ever seen.
It is. I mean, we've learned that you don't count on them coming into the wind. On their
right. When you see them, shoot them.
Well, I mean, other ducks, if they're going to, the decoys, they're coming into the wind. A teal can come 35 miles an hour with the wind, and as he crosses your decoys, just turn and sit down.
Wow.
One more little pointer and tip I'd like to add is wherever you're going to have your focus between your motion and your decoys and whatnot, make sure that you have that directly in front of the blind where all of your gun barrels can come out in the same direction. When you start putting things over on one side or the other, because these birds are so acrobatic and can come in a moment's notice, what that does is that limits your shooting ability as a whole of your duck blind, with one guy on the end only being able to shoot, or you end up with a gun barrel in an unsafe direction. So if your main focus is out in front, now you've got every advantage of all gun barrels blasting at these birds.
And safety being obviously the most important part of that.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Kelly Haydell, we love you, brother. Thank you so very much. And are you going to get to hunt Saturday?
I'm going to leave that to Rod. Big Brother's going to go down this weekend. I'm going to stick around the house, and I'm going to wait for that second weekend when those birds really get here.
Well, tell Rod, let us know what they see down that way.
Absolutely will. Y'all have a good day, and good hunting to y'all.
Kelly Haydell, Haydell's Game Calls, and I'm going to tell you right now, If Carla Nesbitt showed up here every Wednesday, I'd weigh 418 pounds.
Yeah, I'd fall asleep going home.
And that'd be after I jogged.
Oh, Lord.
She's got more stuff. We're going to talk about the Oh Dear cookbook.
Yeah.
And her favorite recipes on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's next. Hooking up and tracking down, 11:30, The Tiger.
Being social is what we do at Hooking Up and Tracking Down, so check out our Facebook page at Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. This segment presented by United Rentals, Wildwood Resort, the Bob Seeley Big Bash Splash Series, and Honey Baked Hams, offering a great sandwich deli and so much more. For your next lunch, treat yourself to Honey Baked Hams located at 5739 Uri Drive in Shreveport.
Speaking of those honey baked hams, they are not just for the holidays. A great lunch deli offering salads and sandwiches, chips and cookies right there at Honey Baked Hams. They offer some great pies as well. There's pecan, sweet tater pie. I mean, really good stuff. And this week's Honey Baked Hams recipe of the week, Honey Baked Ham Jambalaya. Just go to honeybaked.com to see the recipe. And don't forget now, they do cater at Honey Baked Hams. 5739 Uri Drive in Shreveport, or call Honey Baked Hams 318-865-4411. Okay, now the lasagna in the bowl. Carla Nesbitt's here from Bellevue Meat Processing, and her cookbook, Oh Dear, What's for Dinner? The lasagna in a bowl that you brought us,
right,
is not in the cookbook.
It's not. It's coming out in the new cookbook.
Oh, there'll be like
there's a second. There's
Oh
a
Dear,
volume
Oh
2.
Dear, Oh Dear 2. And when's that?
That's going to be in the spring of 2019.
Okay, so tell me, what's in lasagna in a bowl?
You're going to take a pound of the bulk Italian, is what I call it. The Italian that's not in the links.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to brown it. Dice up a little bit of onions, put in there and brown it with it. You're going to take a jar of your Cajun Power spaghetti sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Dump that jar in there. Add you 2 more jars of beef broth.
Mm-hmm.
Cook it. Let that come to a good boil. You can break up. How I first did this is I just broke up some lasagna noodles.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in there, but I think I used rigatoni today. But you can
Mhm.
use any
I
other
like
noodles.
those.
I do too.
Those are good.
And then just start, if you're at home, eat it with a salad and garlic bread, and you have a really quick. You can make that in under 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's what Carla and I were talking about. Was my wife Julie? You know, when she gets home from work, I mean, that's something that she could whip up after work, and we could still eat it at a regular time.
Yeah.
And then that's something you can make enough one day and have it the next day.
That's
And-
my next question.
and you know
How
what?
many does it serve?
Yeah, probably about 10.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
You've seen the McCoy boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or one McCoy
How many
family.
McCoy boys will it feed?
One sitting with McCoy household.
Now, tell me, the deviled eggs. You gave us the description of the deviled eggs earlier. Is that in the cookbook?
That's
That's
something I
gonna-
made up last year when I got this jalapeno relish that we started
Holy
selling at the
crap.
store. I was like,
Unreal.
this would be really good in a deviled egg.
Dude, that is unbelievable. Okay, in the Oh Dear Volume 1, the Carla Nesbitt must go to, if I'm going to a party or if I got people coming over to the house, the number one recipe I have to cook.
To me, my favorite sausage is our Italian sausage.
Yeah, it's
So,
awesome.
What my go-to, quick and easy, you take about 8 links of Italian sausage, put it in an iron skillet. It has to be an iron skillet, and cover just enough water to cover the bottom. Cook those links until the juices start running clear. take you 1 red bell pepper, 1 green bell pepper, 1 yellow bell pepper, 1 onion. Slice it up, dump that on top of those Italian sausage, drizzle it with olive oil, let those onions and peppers cook down, and then you're going to serve it on a garlic hot dog bun, toasted hot dog bun. And it is awesome.
I am so in.
Quick and
where'd she have
easy.
you?
I'm just. And how has Chris Nesbitt, your husband, lost weight? How has he lost weight? I mean, because he's looking good.
He had to.
But I mean, how
Doctor's
Both
orders?
had to do for health
But
reasons.
how do you lose weight when you got that kind of a cookbook
Because
there
you
in the house?
can't cook like that every day.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you
But
can.
the onions and bell peppers and all that's not bad
That's
for you.
healthy. That's
Well,
good
you know,
stuff.
you said that your cookbook was full of good tasting, bad for you recipes, but I'm sitting here looking at the venison stuffed bell pepper.
Now, that's good for you.
That is, I mean,
Yeah, there's nothing in
deer
that.
meat, no
Yeah.
fat,
Yeah.
lean, super lean.
Yeah, exactly.
The bell pepper, a side salad, and green beans. That can be as low carb, which is all this new.
Correct.
What's this new diet? Keto.
Keto.
Acidosis or something. Keto acid, whatever. Keto something.
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah.
That is nothing.
That was Mike Eccles.
It's nothing.
His address
Yep.
is.
Yeah.
yeah. It's nothing but the carb diet, the Atkins, really.
Yeah.
And this was perfect. You know, and deer meat is great for dieting.
How much deer meat do y'all eat? A lot or a little?
Let me tell you, my 2 boys killed 4 deer between the 4 of them last year, and they gave the marshal gave a deer to one of our customers that's handicapped and no longer can hunt, and he can eat nothing but deer meat.
Wow.
And the other 3 were given to some of our meat wrappers in the bag. So we had 0 deer meat. Now we have lots of duck.
Yeah. Oh, yes, you do.
But
Hey, Mike can
but
tell
I
you how
will
to
be
cook
honest
the
with
duck.
you. My son Matthew pulls out the back straps and tenderloins and then gives the rest of his deer away.
Mike has the best duck recipe you will ever eat.
Really?
It is unbelievable.
Yes.
I'll share it with you, but let me tell you something. This is on a totally different note. A lady that we've had on the show, Gia Morgan, who is Sonny Landry's wife, has a wildlife rehab center on the north side of Cross Lake, and I put this out on Facebook and got a couple of donors. They are constantly looking for old meat. Clean your freezer out. Something you're not, because they've got the eagles, hawks, ospreys. No telling what kind of animals they got that they have to feed. So if y'all ever have a gut pile or a trimming pile or something like that y'all don't utilize for something, you know, that would be a good place to Sonny will come up there and get that.
Yeah. You know, there's sometimes a hunter will kill a deer the evening before, and
And they
he
think
finds
that,
it the next day.
Yeah.
You know, at 10 o'clock in the morning, and
Yeah.
it's been 80 degrees. That's not good.
And, you know, that's one
Well,
of
but
the things
these
that
animals can eat that.
That's what I was thinking. That's something that would not be.
Except the eagles and the
waste.
birds, he told me. I said, how about old fish for that? And he said, they will not eat a dead fish.
Huh.
I got a question for you. Deer tips, beef tips or deer tips. That's a lot of times that's a roll of the dice. They're either
Right.
really tough or they're good and tender.
Correct.
Do you have a way to cook beef tips or deer tips that makes them tender?
Yes. I like to put my beef tips in a crock pot
Okay.
with my onions, a couple of cans of beef broth, your meat tenderizer, your salt and pepper. Leave them on low on your crock pot for about 10 hours.
Wow.
You're going to come back and stir them, and they're just going to fall apart.
Oh, that would work.
Wow.
You could put tennis shoe leather in there,
Wow.
and it's going to fall apart.
Is that in your new cookbook?
That's just a hint.
A
tip.
crock pot is a very underutilized
I
piece of
agree.
Right. I
equipment
love
in the
a
you're
crock
right.
pot.
Now, you know what? You know, one of the things, because you guys also process a lot of the wild hogs that are killed there at Budcall. Is there, and I know that we tend to gravitate towards deer, but one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that those wild hogs, there's not a lot of fat on them.
Correct.
Do you have special recipes just for the wild hogs?
Yes, I have some recipes in our cookbook.
Okay.
That's for the wild hog.
Because, I mean, there's a lot of times they can be just as dry as a bone.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's no fat on those unless somebody's caught one in a cage and fed it up for a month or so.
Right.
And then harvested the animal.
Yeah, because sometimes they'll skin them and there's just no fat cover.
Yeah.
You know what else is like
Animals.
that? Turkey.
Turkey?
Wild turkeys. They have zero fat on them. Don't fry them the same way you do a domestic bird.
Oh, really?
Trust me, I've done that. 3 minutes per pound, and you ain't got nothing left but a softball size. Yeah, trust me, it don't work.
Okay, on the wild hog, and this may be a question for Chris. Some of them are good to bring in and eat, and some of them not. What would be y'all's guideline on throw this in the gut pile, or let's butcher this and take home pork?
Well, I've heard Chris tell so many people that you're going to, when you are out in the field and you shoot these hogs and you walk up to them and you can smell if they have a musky smell, then that's just not something that you want to take time out to take it to the processor and spend that money.
And, and thank good the law has allowed us to do that.
Right.
That doesn't fall under the wanton waste issue.
Right.
You know, I would say younger sows, anywhere like 60, under 100 pounds, are going to make excellent sausage, and leave your loins whole. You're not, when you get a wild hog, unless it's just a huge wild hog, and then it's not going to be that great to leave your loins whole and to make chops and everything with that.
Yeah.
But I would recommend, like in those younger hogs, leave your loins whole and you can smoke them.
So the loins and the pork chops on the wild hogs are good. I mean,
are good in the younger ones in the sows.
Good.
Some people really love those. Take the hams, the hinds, and make ham cutlets, and they use those like a boneless, skinless pork chop.
So what about this 820-pound hog that was killed in Alabama? Would you drag him off? Is he worth eating?
I probably would have dragged him off.
Yeah.
Of course, I would like for him to come to Bellevue Meat.
Yeah.
I think so.
And charge by the pound.
Hey, now listen,
Get it all made in snack sticks.
with one of the things that's a misconception that a lot of people don't realize is you don't have to have killed a deer in order to get your Italian sausage or your like I love the jalapeno cheese sausage. You don't have. You can do that. But it's not necessary. I mean, you have sausage for sale right now.
In our meat store, we have our pork. It's inspected pork. It's not wild pork. It's inspected pork, and we have our jalapeno and cheese smoked. We have our original smoked, a hot smoked, the sweet hot, green onion, breakfast sausage, summer sausage. We have all those things that we carry in our wild game processing, but they're made with our inspected pork.
You got snack sticks right now because teal season starts this weekend, and I mean you're right on the way to everybody going to bod call.
We do.
And your hours right now.
Right now we're just Tuesday through Friday from 8 to 3.
Okay.
But starting youth hunt weekend,
Yeah.
is that October 13th, we'll be wide open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m.
And that's when it's so much fun to go by and see her and Leslie. As Leslie Reeves, Leanne Reeves. When the two of them are there and they get slap happy, it's about 5:30 in the evening or something. They get slap happy.
Oh, that's not what making them happy.
Oh well, yeah.
It's that cup sitting over on the table.
Okay, if somebody wants to take advantage of this and get the cookbook now, Oh Dear, What's for Dinner? Right there at Bellevue Meat Processing. It's a collection of wild game recipes. You say you're open Tuesday through Friday.
8 to 3 right now.
8 to 3. And then October 13th with start of youth season.
7 days a week, 8
Wow.
a.m. to 9 p.m. And we've designed a really cool youth shirt again this year for every youth hunter that brings in a deer to be processed. They'll get a shirt. from
They
Bellevue
do
Meat.
every year.
We do that
That's-
every year. And then we got another cool little slogan for them. And
And you can get on the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Wall of Fame.
oh, that's right.
Amen.
That's
We
right.
are hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
I catch 'em, God cleans 'em, I bait the hook.
How about another hour of the best outdoor show on the radio? It's the Hooking Up and Tracking Down show. This segment presented by Ranger Boats, Despino and Jim's Big South Tire, the Red River Waterway Commission, and Rio Ammunition, the cleanest burning shells on the market today. Once again, here's Gary, Steve, and Mike.
And real quick, another word from Rio Ammunition. Established in 1896, focused on innovation and product development, Rio specializes in sporting and hunting shotgun shells. Now running a new state-of-the-art facility in Marshall, Texas, right across the state line there. Technology advanced cases, primers, powder, wads, and shot. Cleanest shooting shell on the market today, and that's very important. Help keep your gun clean. Gary, you ain't got to clean it near as often.
Especially for teal season.
Exactly. To learn more and to find a dealer near you, go to Rio Ammo. That's RioAmmo.com.
Can Carla come every week?
Oh, no. No. Because I've been on a semi.
Hey, Chris. Bellevue Meat Processing.
I've been on a.
We have held your wife hostage.
I've been on a low carb diet for about 3 weeks.
We will let her go for 400 pounds of gumbo mix and some more of this lasagna in a bowl. And
now, Carla, no carbs in these sausage balls, right?
None.
None.
Totally. That Bisquick, that was fat free,
Yeah.
carb free,
Low carb Bisquick.
No doubt. Oh, you know what? Before we get to Mike's thoughts, Carla and I and her husband and my wife, we all go to church together. And our church is doing the coolest thing this year. First Baptist Houghton. Eccles actually came with me last year. We normally have our Big Buck Banquet at the end of the year. Well, this year it has changed names. And I'm sure that Bellevue is a big sponsor of this, aren't they? The Second Amendment Rally, in conjunction with the annual Big Buck Banquet, is going to be there at First Baptist Houghton Thursday, September 27th, 6 p.m. And with this, not only is the church, saying that, hey, we're conducting our Big Buck Banquet, but they are also showing that, as a community, as a state, as a region, as a country, we need to preserve our right as Americans to keep and bear arms. It is a passion coupled with a desire that all people hear the gospel of Jesus Christ that has led the church